Hey, welcome to Love-A-Dram. This week, our whiskies of the week are going to take us to the Outer Hebrides. We're going to go visit the Isle of Hearach distillery and sample some of their amazing whiskey that's only just come out. It's brand new stuff. Don't go anywhere. You're going to check. Wait. Oh, but wait. Just stay tuned. I'll throw in the best gin on the planet for free. Yeah. Check it out. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome to Love-A-Dram, Scottish whiskey evangelism. Here we celebrate the finest beverage on the planet, single malt Scottish whiskey. Wouldn't you love a dram?
Hey everybody, welcome to Love-A-Dram. I'm Jonathan. This week we have two whiskeys and a gin. So, oh my goodness, how lucky are we? This is Whiskey of the Week for November the 11th, 2024. We have two amazing expressions that come from the Isle of Hearach distillery. Before I talk about these, I'm going to talk about something that's not whiskey, and it's not gin. It's cloth. This is some of my favorite cloth in the world. This is another product that comes from the Isle of Hearach. This is Hearach tweed. Has to have the Hearach tweed label. This means that this was made not in a big factory by machines. This was made by a person in a small house or cottage and on a pedal loom, and it's absolutely gorgeous stuff. It comes in loads and loads of colors and designs. But it's one of my favorite things on the planet. One of my other favorite things on the planet is whiskey. And I also really like gin. So let me talk about the gin first, because this was where my love affair with this distillery began. I'm going to take you back a few years. When I had my 50th birthday party, I called a bunch of friends and family and said, hey, I'm going to have a thing. We're going to Edinburgh. Yeah. So we went to Edinburgh and had an amazing birthday. We toured around, had a great time. For my birthday dinner, I was introduced to this gin, which at that time was brand new, and it was outstanding. I'd never had anything like that. It was one of the best things, as I said, it's one of the best things I've ever put in my mouth, and it absolutely rings true. This the gin is made with one of the main botanicals that they use is sugar kelp. So this is kelp, like seaweed, that's harvested from around the pristine waters of the Isle of Hearach. And it's absolutely amazing. It's one of my favorite things ever. And because of it, my wife and I got a little bit obsessed. And we were so obsessed that for our 25th wedding anniversary, we decided to make the Isle of Hearach distillery our target destination. So we went there, had an amazing time, met the wonderful people who were working there. This distillery is special. It's not just like any other distillery, because it's a distillery that's really got a mission. It's a social distillery set up to really try and keep young people in particular employed there so that they can stay on the Isle of Hearach. There was a lot of attrition with population. They lost about half their population. And so it's very hard to keep young people on an island where the only industry really is, sheep farming and fishing. And so, while those are awesome, jobs and careers, it may not be for everybody. So a lot of the young people, especially, went to Glasgow and Edinburgh, London, and other cities for employment, and that resulted in a population decline on the Isle of Hearach. So, in 2015, the Isle of Hearach distillery was established as a way to create long-term good, employment and stable jobs there to help to sustain a community, and they've succeeded. They've succeeded amazingly well. They are the largest employer on the island. I think now they have over 50 people employed there with full-time, good-paying jobs that allow people, and young people in particular, the ability to be able to stay there and raise families and develop the community. They have one of the youngest aged workforces in the entire industry. The average age of the distilling staff there is 25 years old. So definitely they're true to their mission of keeping young people employed, and these people are just absolutely doing amazing stuff. The gin, as I've mentioned, absolutely incredible product. I highly recommend it as a gin and tonic with a little slice of grapefruit and a sprig of rosemary. It's gorgeous. Um, Setting that aside, that gin was able to sustain the distillery and keep people employed until they were able to release their first product, their first whiskey product. It is a whiskey distillery. So the first product that they made came out only last year in 2023, and it's called the Hearach. Hearach is a Gaelic term that refers to somebody who comes from the Isle of Harris, and this whiskey was basically, as you know, a testament to the people who come from Harris and the relationship that they have there with the community. So it's a new whiskey, but it's not that new. It's got a mixture. It's got a blend of some 4-year-old whiskey, but mostly it's 7-year-old whiskey that goes into making the Hearach single malt. So it's and then it has a really interesting cask structure. It's matured. They use a lot of bourbon barrels. When I visited there in 2019, I saw a lot of Buffalo Trace barrels, but they use other ones as well. So a lot of bourbon. They also use Oloroso sherry and Fino sherry casks to create an amazing blend of flavors and a fantastic whiskey experience. It's a lovely, deep, rich straw color. The nose is just so pretty. It really is. It's a lovely perfume of vanilla, apples, like spiced apples, some dark fruit. Um, mm, 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 mm. Sweet, fruity pastry, cereal notes, leather. Mm, incredible. This tastes like something that you would think would be at least twice as old. Um, and it really is, just shows how well crafted this is. It's such an incredible whiskey experience. I highly recommend the Hearach. It's bottled at 46%. It's non-chill filtered. There's no added color. Color is gorgeous. And the bottle design, they put so much thought and attention into their products and how they look. I mean, the gin bottle is the same way. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then it sort of reflects the quality of the spirit that's inside. And it's a wonderful, wonderful whiskey. This was their first dram, the first expression that they produced, and it came out last year. Big thanks and a shout out to my neighbor Adrian for getting this bottle for me and bringing it back all the way from Texas. Yeah, it's great. If you see it, if you find it, buy it. It's great. Great stuff. It's new. It's a distillery that people don't know the name of because it's a new distillery. But what they're producing is it's going to put them on the map forever. Because if they maintain this level of quality, which I'm sure they will, the sky's the limit. They're going to be producing some outrageously good whiskeys, from now till the end of time. One of the things that I really appreciate about the I Love Harris bottlings is the fact that they print the batch number on the top of every cork. And they bottle in batches about 12,000 bottles at a time. And there can be slight variation from batch to batch. But if you go to their website, which is harrisdistillery.com, you can click on the link that corresponds to your cork, and you can find out a ton of information about what's went into crafting that bottle. They also include some really fun tasting notes from a local person from Harris, as well as some thoughts and musings from their chief storyteller, which just adds a lot to the whiskey experience. It's a really cool thing, and I really love that. This was the first expression. The second one that they came out with is the Oloroso Cask Matured. version, and it's the Hearach. It's the same recipe. It's the same spirit recipe, I should say, not the cask recipe, but the same spirit recipe. Um, in this, the only difference is the cask maturation, and you can see from the color of the bottle that Oloroso sherry does bring something to the party. They have the distillery has a great relationship with a cooperage in Andalusia in Spain, and they make amazing sherry down there, Oloroso sherry. That the casks get sent back up to the Hebrides, and they put the same spirit from the Hearach into the Oloroso casks and mature it, and it's a lot of wow. And these, even though it's amazing because it's the same distillate recipe, but these whiskeys couldn't be more different. This one is such a party on the nose too. It really is fruity flavors, vanilla, some fig, some rich dessert like a creme caramel. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. Mm. And on the tongue, yeah, dark fruits, cereal notes, little leather, um, lovely dryness to it. It's very mature. It's not sweet at all. It's these both of these expressions uh, are so advanced beyond their years in terms of if you gave it to somebody in a blind tasting, I bet they would imagine that this was a much more mature whiskey than it is. They have such a depth of flavor and aroma that I can't wait to see what they're going to be producing in 20 years or 25 years. It's going to be amazing. I really enjoy new distilleries. I like finding them and checking out what they're all about. And, this one is one of my favorites. I mean, I love the social mission that they have, the ethics by which they approach everything. Everything is really locally done and locally sourced, and they really are celebrating the Hebridean culture and creating jobs and creating great stuff. So this is our whiskeys and bonus gin of the week for November the 11th, 2024. Thanks very much for tuning in, and we'll hope to see you next week. In the meantime, Sláinte.